Welcome to the podcast that's been named one of the best in marketing research. This is Research Business Daily Report, which is made possible by RBDR's exclusive community at the crowdfunding platform patreon.com/RBDR. I'm Bob Lederer for more than 25 years, the respected voice in market research. A couple of Thursdays ago, Gary Angel kicked off his Measurement Minute here on RBDR. And on that first one, he updated retailers and manufacturers on how they can and should dig more deeply into in-store displays in order to understand their impact. The same day that we released Gary's commentary on RBDR, we almost immediately heard from one of our viewers, Steve Nadell, managing partner of Advanced Simulations. He's an in-store research expert in his own right. Steve wrote us that going deeper than counting the number of items on a display, the units sold off the display, and the discounted price on the display was, in his words, overkill. Nadell told us, quote, "I don't care how many see the display, who stops to gaze at it, who plays with the product. I care about whether I sold more stuff with the display, at least enough to cover the cost of my running the display." Now, Gary Angel read Steve's reaction, and he decided immediately to produce a reasoned, insightful response. Years ago, retailers and manufacturers began to acknowledge that each store in a chain is quite unique in its size, its layout, its customer base, its products offered, etc. They are different from most of all the other stores in a chain, typically. In today's response, Gary presents a number of additional not so obvious differences between stores, which set them apart when display activity and what it is accomplishing is actually considered. Gary?
I'm Gary Angel with the Measurement Minute. It's a really common question, and it's an important one. Namely, it's why should I care? If what I'm focused on is sales in the store, why do I need to understand whether people stopped at a display or engaged with a display or how they flowed through a display area? Don't I just need to understand what I sold and whether I sold more or less? Well, the bottom line answer to that is no. That's not enough. And here's why. There are three kinds of cases where having point of sale information is not enough to do the job of really optimizing the store. The first problem with point of sale is that it's often not a very clear signal about what's working and what isn't. One of the real challenges with in-store testing is that it's hard to get good A/B comparisons. Stores evolve over time. Traffic patterns evolve during the season. Year-over-year comparisons are really nebulous. If you're trying to focus on whether a specific display in the store is working or not, it can be really, really challenging to get a good comparison. Having more data about how many shoppers were in the area, how many stopped and shopped, whether those shoppers went in the same direction and where they were coming from, allows you to do a much better job of understanding what opportunity a display actually had, which allows you to measure its performance that much more crisply. Believe me, measurement is not trivial. In a complex store environment, it's often really difficult using just point of sale information to decide whether something worked. There's a really common example I give from my days in digital. If someone walked into my office and said, "Hey, I have this great web analytics tool. It lets me measure how many people came to my site and how many people converted," I would have looked at them like they were crazy. In digital, we measure every single pathway people take, every single page they look at, every click they make, every image they look at. And you know why we did that? Because it helped us improve conversion. Yes, this is ultimately about sales, but the more and the better you can measure how your shoppers behave in store, the more opportunities you'll find to improve conversion. So that's the first reason. The second reason is that POS sometimes isn't very prescriptive, and this gets in some ways to what I was just talking about. Let's say you put a visual display in and the POS signal's clear, it's not working. But why? Why isn't it working? Wouldn't you like to understand whether it's a product question, whether it's a visual question, whether it's an engagement question? Are people getting hands-on with the product and not buying, or are they not even looking at the product? Wouldn't that help you figure out what to try next and what kind of tests to run? The more detailed information you have about how a display is performing, the more prescriptive you can be about what kind of tests might actually make a difference. I think one of the biggest reasons you have for doing more detailed display measurement is that it helps you understand what kind of improvements might actually make a difference. And no, POS is not going to do that for you. Thirdly, and this isn't true for everybody, but it's true for a lot of people these days, there's a significant amount of work that the store does that isn't done in terms of delivering sales, whether it's branding or showrooming for the digital presence. A lot of people will come into the store to look at product, to try product, to get their hands on product, but they may still buy online, and hopefully you're going to capture a significant percentage of those people. But POS is not going to help you measure that. Display analytics can. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. The more you understand about how the store works, the more you understand about the way shoppers actually behave in store, the better you can make the store. And by better, yes, I do mean customer experience, but I also mean more sales. So if that's what you care about, I really do believe display analytics is an important tool to help you do a better job of optimizing every square foot in the store.
Thank you, Steve Nadell, for your initial reaction. And thank you, Gary, for putting in extra time to react to Steve's remarks. That's your Research Business Daily Report, made exclusively and possible by our community at the crowdfunding platform patreon.com/RBDR. With thousands of research executives becoming RBDR viewers and watching us on a quite regular basis, it's clear to us that the average 5-minute video length of an RBDR, which we tend to send out early, Monday through Thursday in the morning, is being perceived by those viewers as time well spent. They also continue to share our videos, both internally with their peers and externally with customers and prospective customers. So we know from having talked to a number of these people that they get a lot of thanks from people that they send it to. So please visit patreon.com/RBDR and become a patron yourself. Have a great research day. We hope that this research week is a money-making one for you. Enjoy the upcoming weekend, and we'll see you back here with us on Monday.